Welcome and good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate you being in attendance. Whether it's national or local public safety, that is the #1 priority of government. And Spokane County, along with our partners, are pleased to be partnering once again with the City of Spokane to bring new emergency dispatch response and records reporting suites of systems to our local law enforcement agencies. Our current system has been in place for almost 20 years and is in need of replacement due to the many changes in technology and law enforcement reporting requirements. And as I was thinking about technology, I was thinking about what this looked like or didn't look like 20 years ago. And you can imagine the system that we were working with. And preventing and fighting crime has not gotten any easier in this time frame for those who are working so hard to keep our lives safe. And the antiquated system has not made their job easier. So the need to replace this system has actually been a topic of conversation for several years. And it was about just over a year ago that we decided that we would look at a sole source option for replacing our system. After many conversations, many conversations, we decided to go back to the RFP process. And as a result of thousands and thousands of hours put in by a joint county and city project and selection team, we have arrived with consensus at a solution that cost half of what we originally anticipated it would cost. This is a huge win for Spokane County taxpayers. So I'm pleased to announce that today, Spokane County will be confirming a contract with our selected vendor, New World Systems, to replace the current legacy CAD RMS system. New World, and we have representatives with us today, is an industry leader in dispatch, records, and mobile field solutions for the public safety sector with a clientele base across the country. Their proposal was deemed most advantageous in both overall functionality and cost. And our team, who worked with New World throughout the selection and contracting process, has indicated that they have been honorable in their dealings, understand the solutions that we were trying to arrive at and the needs and the unique needs that we had for our community, and they were great to work with. So I thank you for that. And I would say another key component of our success has been the creation of what we have called the Public Safety IT Governance Team. And this is a committee comprised of senior county and city leaders who have met every other week for the last year to ensure that this project stayed on track so that we could meet our timelines. And as a governance committee, we have worked very closely with our project team, who's been great, and we've aided them in simplifying this process that is amazingly complex when you're working with so many different agencies with so many different requirements and personalities and needs, frankly, to meet their individual goals. And our project team has been phenomenal. And we, as a governance team, have appreciated the many hours that they have put in. So the city and the county, with our contracted agencies, such as the City of Spokane Valley, Medical Lake, and others, all feel that a regional approach to public safety is the only thing that makes sense for our region. And on many aspects in the public safety system, we are working on this. And this system replacement is a first major step towards that goal. So I am proud, and I do have to take a moment to thank Arian Schmidt, who has been our project manager, and Becky Garrett, who has been on the county side for IT, and the many teams and individuals who, without their hard work, and literally thousands and thousands of hours, would have brought to us a system that we all agree on and are excited about moving forward with. And it is their hard work and their team effort that really got us to where we are. So thank you very much. And it's on behalf of the Spokane County Commissioners that we are proud to be once again joining with our partner, the City of Spokane, on a regional effort that will better serve the citizens of this community. So with that, I'd like to take a moment and introduce the Mayor of Spokane.
Well, thank you, Commissioner. I hate to say it, but I think you might need to upgrade this now. There's new ones in the last 3 years, you know. I don't have it either, but as we see with technology, obviously it continues to come to the forefront, and it is definitely a tool for our law enforcement officers who are out there. It is a component of the backbone of what makes their work of making us a safer community top priority for all of us. I do want to thank and appreciate the leadership of Commissioner O'Quinn, also Commissioners Milkey and French with Sheriff Ozzie Knezovich. This is a component of how we can have the basis of regional information systems for our law enforcement officers as they all serve those communities that they're commissioned to do so. But Commissioner, your ability to work through the details, the opportunities, the desired outcomes, in a large part is why we are here today. The City of Spokane is excited to be partnering once again with the Spokane County to deliver better, more affordable services to our citizens. I must say that I am Johnny-come-lately to this. I have not been part of those meetings, so thank you for all of your determination. On our part, the City Administrator, Teresa Sanders, has been the lead for my administration on that, obviously with Chief Straub, who you'll hear from momentarily. Public safety is consistently our top priority in our community, but definitely the top priority for the city as we work and will become the safest city of our size in the country. As we've aligned our work to our citizens' priorities, it's allowed us to be more accountable to the outcomes, especially in the area of police services, with definitely the leadership of our chief. Over the past 3 years, we've made improvements to training, hired new police officers, standardized our equipment, all with the goal of driving down crime and better preparing our officers to serve our citizens. This partnership is a step towards improving the quality of the information our officers have while they are responding to their calls for service. It also allows us to replace aging equipment and realign our data integration processes with national metrics. And we did this for half the cost than we first envisioned over a year ago. The new system is efficient, secure, and cost-effective, better utilizing technology to quickly send help to those who need it and keep records of calls to make Spokane safer. And that's what the partnership is all about. This project has been governed by a joint city-county committee that met bi-weekly through the course of a selection process to deliver the best outcomes to our stakeholders. I'm signing the agreement here today, the interlocal agreement between the two entities that outlines the cost sharing for the implementation and the maintenance of this project and the program. The city is committed to providing the best public safety services for our citizens' investment and partnering with the county in ways so that we can do that. The CAD RMS collaboration is a good progress in a larger discussion between the city and county as we take a system-wide approach in many of our different areas, and particularly today, a system-wide approach to improve delivery of our criminal justice services. We look forward to working with the county to deliver these great results. Thank you again for being here, and again, congratulations to the team. Many of you guys here today for a job well done, and really, as they say, now the work begins, right? But it truly is the work of becoming a safer community, and we do that together in these great partnerships, so each one of our agencies have the information they need to deliver for their constituents what is our constituents' top priority, and that's public safety. Thank you.
First of all, I wasn't quite sure this day would ever get here. For the 8.5 years, this has been a topic at countless meetings. It was getting to the point of a crisis. Can't explain to the media that's in the room just how important this day is. This will revolutionize the way that we, the City of Spokane and the Sheriff's Office, are able to fight crime in this area. This will make our citizens much more safe across the board. You know, Doug Silver, who is on my command staff, refused to retire until this day happened. Doug will be retiring in April. So he knew how important this day was, and he has worked diligently on this project. I just wanted to recognize that he is here and that your dream has finally come to fruition. This actually takes us into the 21st century. We will actually be able to become cutting edge in our law enforcement techniques. Chief Straub and I have worked very diligently and talked back and forth together about what this really means to us as our ability to work better as a region in totality to fight crime, to make our community safer, to take that repeat offender off the street. When I look at these projects, I also remember the patrol officer or the patrol deputy on the street at 3 o'clock in the morning. I make most of my decisions on what's it like for them fighting crime in our community at 3 o'clock in the morning. I want to thank New World for the command line, because you have made my patrol division very, very happy. They say that this system is one of the best that they've been associated with. So hats off to you. Thank you for your diligence. I really appreciate the work of all the team members, Becky, Arian, that went into this. And it's going to be nice to not have to wait 10 days to get statistic data that you can rely on, because our current system, that's how long we had to wait. We will have a dashboard system, and we'll be able to know what's going on in our community real time. Eventually, it's my hope, and I know that Chief Straub and I have talked about this, that this will eventually develop into a real-time crime center, which will take us further into the 21st century in making our community safe. So this is a very important day, and I'm glad it's here, and enjoy your vacation.
Thank you. So clearly the theme is collaboration. County, police, sheriff's department, city officials, county officials, elected officials on all sides getting together to work through a very difficult process. And I've done this now. This is my third time in my career in White Plains. I did it in Indianapolis, and now here in Spokane. This is never an easy process, and there's all kinds of fits and starts. There's all kinds of moments of tension. There are things that get thrown at each other, both at the vendors as well as the participants in the process. But the end result is critically important. I think we have a very good product in the New World system. As the sheriff talked about, the rapid, accurate exchange and analysis of data is important to our communities. It's important to our region. We have seen, even with the system that we have now, which is held together because of the tremendous work of county and city officials by bubblegum and glue and Band-Aids and all kinds of other things, that even with that arcane system, the use of data and the analysis of data, specifically in Spokane, in the city, has reduced crime overall by 8%, violent crime by 19%, property crime by a little over 7%. And really, it's the ability to get that data quickly, to analyze it, and then readjust your patrol configurations, your investigations, your community outreach, whether it's at the city level or it's at the county level. The other thing, and we don't talk about it enough, is officer safety. The ability to rapidly exchange information via radio systems, and we now have finally an interoperable radio system here, and then with data through mobile data terminals, through smartphones. That is really about saving officer lives, making sure that a vehicle that's stopped, the officer or the deputy who walks up to that vehicle knows exactly who's in it, knows the warrant status, the mental health status of those people, allows them to go home to their families the same way they came to work. I think the other thing with this new system that we're going to be able to do is push information to the community and allow the community to see crime data in real time. That supports block watch programs. It supports neighborhood associations. It builds that community policing opportunity where the community is an integral part of sharing data in real time with the police department, with the sheriff's department. And our hope is that this CAD RMS system really becomes a regional system. And so law enforcement agencies, not just in Spokane County, but even our neighbors over in Idaho, have the opportunity to participate in this system, and we are able to share information with them in real time, as well as with our partners in Liberty Lake and Airway Heights and so on and so forth. So I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Shelley's leadership and Teresa Sanders' leadership, Becky and Arian. You have worked through a Herculean task to give us a very good result that I think will benefit this community for many, many years. And I also share the sheriff's vision, building on our current ComStat system here in the city of Spokane, to have a regional intelligence sharing opportunity and a real-time crime center. So thank you very much.
So thank you for joining us. I think you've heard the common theme that it was teamwork that got us to this endpoint. And as with any team, there's always those rough patches, but it was the common vision and shared goals for the end result by all of us standing here and by all of you in the room that allowed us to overcome those challenges and obstacles to be able to celebrate today this new system that will benefit all of us. So we are welcome to answer any questions. I will say, if you go technical on us, we have Arian Schmidt and Becky and others in the room who can give you specific technical details. But if you have some common partnership questions, we're happy to answer as well. So thank you very much for joining us. Questions, anybody? Yes, please.
What's the anticipated go-live date for the new system?
I'm going to go ahead and bring Arian up, and she go ahead and I think most of the questions will be directed towards you.
Just grab Arian and most of my questions.
We constructed the timeline based on contract signing, and so we are estimating a implementation date between 18 to 24 months from today, and that's what we are going to start off in the shoots in the next 30 days getting ready for.
And then are there performance penalties in the contract if the timeline drags out longer than that, or if there's maintenance issues, anything like that?
We have constructed basically a performance incentive through payment plans. And so there are major milestones in which both the county and the New World vendor have to complete and comply with before payment is incurred, and then we move on to the next step. The county has included a performance bond within that also has additional assurances, so we feel that we're well covered in that manner.
Okay. And does that apply to maintenance as well, as far as it being performed to a level that you've agreed on?
The maintenance is actually fairly defined, and so that's something that once you accomplish the implementation, you move into a very standard software vendor-client maintenance arrangement.
And I'm not sure any of us mentioned that this is a partnership between the city and the county for a minimum of 15 years. So we are committed to the long term on this partnership.
Chief, you mentioned sharing information with the community. What would that look like under this new system? Because you do have the CAD reports that come out frequently in like PDF form. Is this going to come in a different manner? Or?
Yeah, so what I would kind of envision, and we had this, it was kind of funny talking about CAD RMS issues. When I was in Indianapolis, the media actually had a map that populated in real time with CAD calls, right? So as every call for service came up, it populated the map. I then went to my folks and said, can we do the same thing? And they said, no, our system's way too old. We can't do that. So we, as I was leaving, they got a new system, which they're implementing now. So that ideally is what I would like, is a citizen in Spokane City, Spokane County, to be able to dial up the map, and as we're seeing the calls in their neighborhood, they're seeing the same calls, right? And so that allows the community to react. It also allows us to react, and then, in the best case scenario, for us to react with the community. I think the other thing that we need to look for in terms of technology is, are we dispatching the closest unit with the right capability to the incident? And right now, it's a little bit of a hunt and peck method that we use to try to get the right units to respond to calls for service. If we have a real-time map that populates and we have GPS capability, we're going to see what unit with what capability is closest to that call for service and match them up, which should reduce dispatch time, response time, And at the end of the day, what are we really talking about, right? We're talking about delivering a higher level of public safety service to both the county residents and also to the residents here in the city.
Sheriff, did you have anything on that as well?
Exactly what the chief said. If you take a look at our website, you can go on our website, click on our crime data, and it's not up to date as far as real time, but we're about a week behind. Yeah, getting those things updated. So the community has found that very, very beneficial. Surprisingly, realtors use it all the time when they're checking neighborhoods out. So we're already doing it, but this gives us the opportunity to do it in real time. The day that we can have that command board and be able to see where all those units are and to make sure that we are properly deployed is the day that we will be more efficient throughout our entire efforts in delivering the services to this community. So, you know, I can't stress how important this is enough that this is a game changer for us. This takes us from one level to a totally new level. And quite frankly, we still have some sorting out to do exactly what we'll be able to do with this system. So it's nice to be on the leading edge of something for a change. And again, after 8.5 years in office and arguing this project for almost that full time, I won't say almost, the full time, it's finally here. So this is a very important day.
For the chief or the sheriff, I understand that this new system will allow you to do NIBRS reporting instead of UCR. Is that correct?
Yes.
Could you maybe...
We can go together, we can stand next to each other.
I was just wondering if you could talk a bit about what benefit that will have for your department as well as the citizens of the area?
It's not so much benefit, it's mandate. The federal government has changed from UCRs to NIBRS reporting. We're pretty much kind of under a lot of pressure because WASPIC is the agency that we report our crime data to. They report it to the state reports it to the federal government. If we're not NIBRS compliant shortly, then there's a risk that our data will not be compiled at a national level. So this was another one of those crucial outcomes of this project, was to make sure that we become NIBRS compliant, because this is not a choice, it's a mandate. UCR is the old way of calculating crime stats. NIBRS is a new way, and I'm going to add a qualifier with that because it's something I don't think the chief and I really have stressed enough, and I think we need to stress this, is that changing from UCR to NIBRS is a game changer also. You will not be able to compare our old crime stats with the new NIBRS numbers because it's going to skew all those numbers. There will become a baseline year when we're finally NIBRS compliant. That will be the new baseline, and for all comparisons thereafter, you'll have to refer to the baseline year. You're not going to be able to go, well, you know, a decade ago you were here. Well, they're not counting the crime stats the same way. And right now it's a hodgepodge for us because we're slightly NIBRS compliant, slightly UCR. So our crime stats tend to bounce all over, and it's not anything that is in our control. It's the process of getting NIBRS qualified. Very important mandate.
Yeah, I would echo that, only in that the other thing is we also have WASPIC definitions of crime. So really right now we're operating under 3 different systems. So it's NIBRS, WASPIC, and UCR, and never the twain shall meet on some of the categories. And so what happens is we create this public perception that the sheriff alluded to, that we're cooking the books all the time. We're not. We're just trying to figure out what book we should be keeping and how we align those 3 books. And so I think the sheriff's point about when there is the switch over nationally, it's going to screw up crime numbers for a few years thereafter. The system, though, that we're bringing in will certainly help us be NIBRS compliant very quickly and keep us, you know, kind of working with the rest of the country in terms of the direction that statistical data is being reported.
Any other questions? Great. Well, thank you for joining us. Have a great afternoon.